on YouTube at EBN TV. Make sure you also contribute to your points. Matters Sports. It is going to be a lovely show. It's going to be a fiery show today. I am promising you that. But for now, I'm just welcoming you to the show, and feel free to comment. Feel free to voice your opinion, and we'll be here to read them. Yeah.
And of course, without forgetting the most important part before we start off the show, for the people who voted for us as the TV station of the year at Tukuza Awards, thank you so much, because we managed to scoop the award as the best TV station of the year. My producer will be bringing the trophy. I'll be carrying them. I have two of them. One from our sister station, that is at Radio Mshindi, and another one for EBN TV. So thank you so much for everyone who took the time to vote for EBN and Radio Mshindi as the best TV station and radio station of the year simultaneously. God bless you so much. This is for us, for all of us who made sure this happens. So thank you so much to everyone who voted. Thank you so much to Tukuza Awards. And thank you so much for everyone who had a hand to make sure that we are the best or up ahead of the rest. So thank you so much, and God bless you all. Now, let's get to Matters Football. Oh, the trophy I'll be showing you later on. My producer will be getting me some. Producer unaletea trophy watu waone. Unajua ni vizuri kabisa wakiona ni kweli tulibeba ama namna gani.
Yes. Evidence ionekane.
Lazima evidence, eh? Yeah. You see your effort ama namna gani. But in the meantime, before my producer gets us the trophy, let us this weekend there was a lot of actions that took place as far as SportPesa Premier League is concerned, whereby a host of games took place this weekend. It was a very beautiful weekend, a very sporty weekend as always. And now I'm going to give you the results of the games that took place this weekend. We can talk about, do you have the results, or I can just read them as we go?
I have them. You can start with the match results that happened at the FKF, or we can say SportPesa League. And we have Mara Sugar were facing Tusker FC, and Tusker FC got the win by 1-0 against Mara Sugar. We had Sofapaka versus APS Bomet na Ilisha in at a 0-0 draw. That was Sofapaka versus APS Bomet. Ilisha na draw 0-0. And then Ulinzi Stars versus Bandari FC, another draw game. Ilisha 1-1. That was Ulinzi Stars and Bandari. Also, I think today is part kuna madraws mingi. You had Muranga Seals and also Karibangi Sharks pay Ilisha draw ya 0-0. Kuna Kakamega Homeboys versus KCB pay Ilisha 1-1 draw. Manze, I think kulikuwa na a couple of draw results. And as we go on to the other remaining matches, we had Kenya Police versus Shabana. Na hii game Shabana iliweza kushinda hiyo game by 1-0. Yeah, Kenya Police walishindwa at their home ground, manze. So those are the results for round 11 of the SportPesa League. So yeah, you can also check out other results as we continue with the analysis. Yeah.
Yes, we'll be checking on them. And as I told you earlier, we are the winners of the Tukuza Awards 2025. As you can see with me here are two beautiful trophies, well carved, beautiful to hold, with quite weight. You can see from here, Christian TV Station of the Year. That is this same station at EBN TV. So thank you so much for everyone who voted. And this is for Radio Mshindi, which is our sister station, the best Christian radio station of the year. So thank you so much once more. This is for all of you who contributed to this victory. And to Tukuza Awards also, thank you. So this is beautiful. This is so beautiful. Yeah. Manu, what can you say about our victory as a station?
You know, for me, I'll say this. I've just seen how this station has grown, and how it has developed from the time it was launched up to right now, and everything has become better and better, as in the fans out there have been supportive since day one, and we always tell them that anything that they can voice their opinions, they can tell us how the TV is running. And for me, I can just say I'm very proud for EBN TV right now. EBN TV has been such a blessing to a lot of watchers and listeners out there, and also Radio Mshindi as the sister radio station. We are so proud that you guys have supported us, and atuja like we haven't given up. You know, the supporters have been there holding us there. They're the ones that ni wao wanatufanya tukue hapa right now, even as we analyze this sporting action, everything, ni wao wanatufanya tukue hapa. So it's something that we feel proud. Also, as the EBN TV fraternity, we are so happy that you guys have been together with us. So for me, I'll say this is just the beginning. We cannot stop. We cannot go down from here. Now we aim for higher and higher achievements, and you guys will be there for us, will support us, na sisi tutakuwa hapa kudeliver. So thank you so much kwa wale wenye wamevote. The evidence is right there, and we are super proud of you guys being together with us. Yeah.
Thank you so much, and this is just an appreciation to all of you. It was very crucial we do that because you make us what we are. You're the ones who made us get noticed and all that. You know, when we are in the studio, sometimes you don't know who is watching. We never know who is watching most of the time. So being just nominated to such an award, it means that people are watching whatever we're doing and they appreciate our efforts and everything we're putting out there. And I hope you do too as you listen to us. Now, let's now jump into sport. Maybe next time we'll be bringing the Ballon d'Or of the sports fraternity. I hope so, if there is one.
It's achievable. If there is one, we can bring it here.
Exactly.
EBN TV, yeah.
Yes. And now jumping now to the Sport Pesa Premier League, whereby Manu has just given us the results. Let us start from the first match with Marashuga against Tusker, whereby Tusker, of course, back to their winning ways, winning by a solitary goal to nil against Marashuga. You know, Marashuga is one of the teams that we've talked about so much in this particular show, and it's one of the teams that we've always looked forward to see what they will achieve in this particular league for the longest time since they came up into the top flight. Now, I feel like Marashuga is one team that I think it's becoming a super pack of sorts, because I feel like one day or to a certain period they're doing so well, then it comes to a point whereby they deep in form and it goes worse and worse and worse. What can you say about Marashuga losing to Tusker FC this particular weekend?
For me, I'll start with Tusker FC. As we all said last time, for me, nilisema Tusker losing to Gor Mahia, it wasn't something ya kuwa stua and something to bring them down to ground zero. Hata ukiangalia tu like ilikuwa tu like evenly ni venye tu Gor Mahia just walipata ile bahati ya that goal, the bizarre goal that we were talking about. But now, even now, to keep build up now with Marashuga versus Tusker FC, for me, niliona Tusker FC can't go down. I think they were the favorites to win. Ukiangalia tu progress yao this season, they started very poorly with inconsistent results. Then after that break we had, the first international break, they started catching up speed to the top teams. Well, some results that were really good. I think ni tu loss ya Gor Mahia ndio tulisema, and that's why I was saying ini loss too is really unfortunate because of the goal. But now picking up now the win again against Marashuga was a needed result. We can say Tusker FC right now, they are in contention for that top spot, but it's gonna be tricky because also of Gor Mahia, but I believe they can pose a threat to the top side. For Marashuga, it was so unfortunate. I think for me, even if tumesema Marashuga ni team zinasumbua the top teams in the Sport Pesa League, Tusker FC were the better side, and even if margin ilikuwa small with the 1-0 lead, for me, I think the 3 points were enough for Tusker FC. They needed the 3 points in order to remove ile mentality like we lost to Gor Mahia, now how can we pick up speed, you know? But for Tusker FC, it was a needed win for them. Yeah. Definitely,
it was a needed win because at the end of the day, as a Tusker player and a coach and everyone in the fraternity, you expect to get such wins, you know. When it comes to teams like Marashuga, you expect to win if at all you're going to chase for the title, and that's kudos to them, and I hope they build from there and give Gor a run for their money. You know, I'm an FC Leopards fan, so anything that works in the disadvantage of Gor Mahia, I am game to eat. Yeah. Of course. Let's talk about the next game, which is Sofapaka against APS Bomet, which ended in a 0-0 draw. APS Bomet coming from beating Gor Mahia convincingly, and then drawing to Sofapaka. It's something that is I didn't see coming. I thought maybe they would build up from that win, because beating a team that sits at the top of the table with that good form, and then you're drawing against Sofapaka. What does it say about APS Bomet?
It's just, first of all, it tells you how the league is so competitive. Okay, not it's so unpredictable. They are competitive and unpredictable. The same team that just beat Gor Mahia last time with a big margin, and we're like, oh, this is a team that we can look at right now and see if they can pose a threat to, like, let's say, the big teams in the league. But now they draw to Sofapaka FC, which I can't discredit them, because Sofapaka, kama tulikuwa tunaangalia game on paper, could say Sofapaka ndio wangeshinda because of the experience. Of course, APS Bomet ni team imekuja imekuwa promoted to the SportPesa League, and now the ile like kwa favorites, Sofapaka ndio walikuwa favorites, but as you can see from how the result turned out, for me ninaona Sofapaka ndo walipoteza, even though sikuona the match in detail, but if you just look at it on paper, unasema I think APS Bomet ni team inaweza sumbua these big teams, you know, and it's a team that we should all look at, even though you draw I think for one team, it's a benefit to them, but to the other team unapata nika wamepoteza 2 points. So it's a big let's say 1 point for APS Bomet. Now just keeping the undefeated streak, you know, and just posing a threat to the bigger teams in the league. So I think your draw, I think nearly 2, I think Sofapaka ndo win. Yeah.
That is Sofapaka for you, and Sofapaka is one team that one of us, Teddy, supports so much, and I would really have wished to have Teddy at this moment. I don't know where he is right now. I know I feel like he has a lot to say in regards of Sofapaka and Chelsea, but anyway, he's not here. He's lost. Yes, now Lucy Stars drew 1-1 with Bandari. Bandari, another team that is quite inconsistent, and not just this season, in the previous 2 seasons that we have covered them in this particular show. Bandari is a team that I feel like it has the capacity to compete for the league. It has the capacity to win the league, not just compete for it. But some little downside here and there sometimes during the league is what prevents them from maybe clinching that title. And I feel like Bandari is a team that does not lack anything. I've never heard of a player's go slow for the longest time from Bandari. I've not heard of a problem with the technical bench from Bandari. You don't hear the shenanigans and all that. So I fail to understand why Bandari just can't hold on to a positive outcome till the end of the league. They have a very vibrant fan base, a very vibrant social media manager who makes us laugh every day with banters here and there. So I fail to understand why Bandari cannot capitalize on all these advantages that surround the team to make use of that energy and try to win games. What are you going to say about Bandari? Of course, they drew against Ulinzi Stars here.
Yeah, I think when they conceded the goal against Ulinzi Stars in the first half, unaweza sema ni kama walikuwa wamepoteza some concentration and like the basic defending, let's say, man marking, because ukiangalia your goal, it was a goal that maybe they could have done better defensively, but now the inconsistency comes in, because this season this is a team that it's really Ikona fans, Ikona fan base. It's a big team in the league. Ikona experience. They have a vibrant coach, tactical coach, and they should be doing better. But ukiangalia your game, they conceded fast, and they took a bit of time to score the equalizer. And equalizer now ilikuwa, I thought when they scored the equalizer, they were to win the game, because ukiangalia the momentum shifted to them, and now when walifunga equalizer ikakuwa stalemate again. They weren't able to capitalize on the chances. They weren't able to capitalize on the win, them being the favorites against Ulinzi Stars. But it ended on a 1-1 draw. I think they could have done better with the win, but Bandari FC right now, it's a team that should not be struggling to win. Actually, in this game, they almost lost. They were so desperate, trying to find the goal. And Ulinzi Stars were also good defensively. So I think ilikuwa game yenye wangefanya better na wangeshinda, but ilisha ina 1-1 draw, and yeah, it's just about Bandari FC doing better in these games. Yeah.
Murang'a Seals 0-0 against Kariobangi Sharks.
It's another stalemate. Nothing much to say there.
And it looks like there was a lot of draws in this particular weekend, around 11.
Yeah, it shows you how the nature, I think the nature of the league right now. Say tuko around 11, unapata kuna some teams zenye zimecheza more games than others.
Yeah.
So even ukisema ati, let's say kama hiyo Murang'a Seal and maybe it was Murang'a Seal and
Kariobangi
Sharks, pata Ulinzi Stars and Bandari FC. Unapata hizi draws zina affect the teams in different ways. Unapata for the other teams, for let's say a team that has drew with another team, one of the teams wako advantaged, na the other team wako disadvantaged because of maybe the amount of games zenye the teams wamecheza. They are not equal in all the teams. So for me, I think at hizo draws zikiwa mingi hivyo, you can also talk about the quality of the league. Is the league quality? Does it have quality in it? Ukiona the amount of draws that are there, and then ukiangalia the wins are not with bigger margins as we saw in the last round. So we can also talk about like the nature of the league. Is it competitive? Is it the quality? There's no quality or that. So it's something that we can also talk about if we see the amount of draws in a certain game week. Yeah.
Yes, I want us to go on a very short break. Let's go on a very short break. When we come back, we'll be going on with some of the teams that took place also still in the SportPesa Premier League. So don't go far.
Shabana, maybe it's something it's something big for Shabana, but for Kenya Police on the other side, ni kitu inarudisha chini manze, na sahi kuna a lot of competition. Gor Mahia maliko sahi wakisha fika huko juu, it's hard for them to go down.
Yeah.
Na team ka Kenya Police ndo team inafaa yeke pressure. Of course Kakamega Homeboyz sahi ndo kwa position, but Kenya Police surely nyindo mlishinda season, nyindo mnafaa ku set example of the quality that you have in the league. So I think next game they should do better. They should win the next game, manze.
Definitely they should, because being the defending champions and the quality they have shown over the years since they came into the top flight, you don't expect them to lose some of the games, and especially right now that they're chasing Gor Mahia behind. I think this one should be like a fuel to them to want to win even in the upcoming big games, to fill up the void that was left with this one here. And on to one last thing about the SportPesa Premier League is this. There was supposed to be a Mashemeji derby this weekend. Unfortunately, it was not able to take place. Why? Because, listen to this, the stadium was overtaken by a different event, apparently. A football stadium that was built for sports is taken over by a different event, and sports has to be postponed to a different one. What do you make of that, Manu? What are our priorities when it comes to sports and just how we do things?
First of all, let's just start with like the scheduling of matches and everything, like the planning of the matches of the season. Na hiyo game ya the Mashemeji derby, it was like tunajua the scheduling of the matches zinakuanga already done when the season ikianza. Tunajuanga at this date tutakuwa na Mashemeji derby at this ground. So say ukisikia that Mashemeji derby inakuwa postponed due to some event, and it is something that maybe also the notice ya hiyo event, like this is a like priorities ni gani inafaa kuja kwanza. I think event pia ingekuwa held somewhere else, because now this is a football it's the biggest game in the season in the land. So now trying to reschedule it, for me I think federation can do better for like FKF or SportPesa when you league, because right now sai ligi inakuwa sponsored by SportPesa, FKF ndio wako hapo. for me, I think they can do better, because this is a this is a game that should have taken place even enough a priority before the event. Now this tells you something, that nka football yetu bado haichukuliwi serious. I don't think okay, sorry to say this, of course I not try to compare with maybe England, because that's where we watch the football matches.
Yeah.
Of course wao wako ahead, but like ukiangalia the games that are being scheduled there, you can't hata wakireschedule Mike, wakireschedule hizi games kutakuwa na notice like 1 month earlier, or I don't know hii notice ilitoka when. So pia communication, pia federation communicate another issue. These things happen, but now priorities pia ni kitu ingine. Like this match is so important. Na mafans wako disappointed out there, so I feel like hapo wakubwa wametuangusha. The FKF, the sponsors, kani SportPesa, kama ni FKF, they can do better with this, cause pia it affect the league as far as going for the title is concerned. Also relegation, things like that. So for me, I think something better should have done. As in, football enough a priority first, because Indio actually kama ingefanyika maybe kwa the next league kama ni NSL ingeleweka, but now Indio the top flight league of the country, so ingepewa priority. And this is the biggest game tena, derby, another thing. So najua wase wengi wamekuwa disappointed with this. Na it's not something new again. This is something that goes on. Na tunashinda tukicall the federation for this, like let these games be given priorities out there. Let fans go to the stadiums, because najua wasange turn out as far as pay event ili wasali pata turn out. Also football stadiums are built for football matches. So I think something just should be done better. Easy rescheduling, hata kama itafika point rescheduling itafanyika. Notice mapema, notice us earlier, ndio hiyo shape ichukuliwe, ionekane pia. Ndio mafans wajiprepare and all that. So for me, I think bado tunaendelea kushuka chini with all these things. I don't know what's your take, but I think that's my take. They should have done better with the scheduling and also priorities.
And sadly so, it is not happening as we would want to. But do you here, let's put this straight here. Nyayo Stadium is owned by the government. That's the first thing. As much as it's a sports facility, it is owned by the government. So you know that, so it is very difficult for a team to convince the government that sport is more important at Nyayo Stadium than any other event, because so do you think it is high time?
Was it a government event?
I tend to think so, because I don't think any other entity would do that. I feel like it's a government. I think it's some Davadi was and others, if I'm not wrong.
So now
it's crazy. But do you think this is a clear sign that tries to force these teams to have their own stadiums? Because depending on a facility that is not yours, anything might happen. Ni kama una expect kwenda kukula kwa jirani yako, but unajonga jiona kunyimanga chakula, una expect ukienda umkose na haja kwambia natoka. You see, it's difficult. It is difficult.
Very
so
relatable. Unaona hata venye umeleta hiyo point ya at least some unaona team like Gor Mahia, Leopards, like wakuwe na their own home, also depend on the, let's say, government facility. But also the government said that they'll continue constructing more stadiums. You know, I think government also should chip in this, because it is something that will call meka kama the vision for the sports sports in Kenya. Building of facilities, modern stadiums and all that. So for me, even if it's a government facility, kunafaa kuwa na alternative for that game to happen. Ndio hata kama game inakuwa postponed to another date, instead of kuwa in another date, what if it is scheduled to another venue like stadium? So that's where the government comes in, and they should like come up with these other facilities kama ni stadiums, we should have more stadiums. I know Talanta is inaendelea ku come up na najua ikimalizika itakuwa very huge for the country, but now we need more. We need more modern hata kama kuna stadiums like Nyayo and Kasarani najua zimekuwa renovated juzi, but we need more and more facilities for this you know, the teams to have, let's say, even teams can push for, let's say, home grounds. Ndio kusikuwa na hii mambo ya like government coming in and hosting an event. So I think government and also FKF can partner or like do like something, because Nikitu, it was in the vision for our sporting as a whole in the country, and government is taking part in that. So government can do their part, and FKF as the federation should do their part. And so I think that's my take.
Yes, that is Manu's take about the Mashemeji Derby not taking place this weekend because of reasons that you have stated earlier. And one of us has joined us, so I'm going to take a short break as we welcome him to the show. So don't go very far. When we come back, we'll be talking more about the English Premier League.
Straight away.
Exactly. So don't go far. Yes, and those are the trophies that you are able to make us win. So thank you so much for everyone who took part. Today I'm going to talk about it until you get bored. Just get used to it. And of course, one of us has joined again. That is Rivaldo. Welcome to the show, bro.
Yeah, thank you.
Naona nje imekuwa refu sana.
Ilikuwa refu kidogo. In a way, but nimefika. Kabisa.
We're happy to have you here.
Thank you so much.
Wewe ni Rivaldo, right? Rivaldo. A very good man and a very big Gor Mahia fan. And of course, the great Manchester United. Now, let us now go to the English Premier League. As I had said earlier, when you come back, we'll be now setting foot on the English Premier League, whereby a lot of games took place this weekend. Manu be kind enough to help us with the results. Tukiendelea manake kuna mingi sana I'll take by. And as Manu gets the results, I hope you followed us on our social media platforms. That is at EBN TV on Facebook, EBN TV on YouTube, because the broadcast is very live on these pages. So follow the page first of all, and also write down your comments in reaction to every topic that we'll be tackling here. Don't forget to tell us how you feel about the team that you support, both in the Kenyan Premier League or the SportPesa Premier League or the English Premier League, and we'll be reading your comments as we go on. Manu, take over.
We have match week 13. These are the results. Brentford faced Burnley and Brentford won 3 goals. Elisha 3-1. And then next game was Man City versus Leeds. Na Elisha 3-2. Man City walishinda hiyo game 3-2. And then Sunderland versus Bournemouth, in which Sunderland won the game by 3 goals to Bournemouth with 2 goals. And then Everton versus Newcastle, in which Newcastle won the game. Newcastle 4 and Everton 1. And then Spurs versus Fulham, in which Spurs lost the game, in which Elisha 1-2 in favor of Fulham. Now we go to yesterday's games. We had Crystal Palace versus Manchester United, Aston Villa versus Wolves, Nottingham Forest versus Brighton, West Ham versus Liverpool, and Chelsea versus Arsenal. Crystal Palace lost to Manchester United. The scoreline is 1-2. Aston Villa won against Wolves. Scoreline is 1-0. Brighton won against Nottingham Forest, and the scoreline is 2-0. West Ham lost against Liverpool. The scoreline is 2-0. And then the final game was Chelsea versus Arsenal, which ended on a 1-1 draw. So it ended on a draw. Yes.
Yes, those are the English Premier League results. And as far as game week 13 is concerned, a lot of actions here. Of course, finally, some teams dropped points, and it's a clear, noiseless week here. So a very peaceful week this week, and I'm happy for that. But before that, let us start from this first game, because we'll be talking about some selected teams, not all of them because of time. Let's talk about Sunderland against Bournemouth, and let us put camp on Sunderland, because Sunderland is one of the teams that is shocking so many, having just come up into the league this season, and you are seeing Sunderland doing so well. You might think it has been here for quite some time. Let's talk about. So first of all, they won this game against Bournemouth 3-2, which is not a shocker for this season. Let's talk about Sunderland. What do you think about Sunderland in general?
Sunderland have been quite impressive. The fact that Sunderland keep on improving game after game and game after game, they keep on evolving. Sunderland is very impressive. If you saw the game, Bournemouth they were about to win the game, but Sunderland apparently overturned the game with 3 goals ahead. They were all scored in seconds after. There was Adli Fee who scored, there's Adli who scored, there's Lefi who scored, and there's also a guy called Adams, if I'm not wrong. There's also Adams who scored. And if you can see all of their goals, there's team spirit in them. And then what I'd like to actually talk about is the guy who is never mentioned a lot. I'd like to talk about Granit Xhaka.
Of course.
Oh my God. That guy commands the midfield. He's a leader. Here, there, the defense line, in the forward attack. He leads by also at the midfield and everything. So what I'd also like to say is I believe that apparently Bournemouth have not been having a good run since they sold a lot of their players, if you can recall. And Sunderland have been having the best run so far, but there are rumors that they're saying that do you know that Sunderland has 10 players who are going to AFCON? Almost 10 or 8.
Whoa.
Yeah, almost 10 or 8. And people are saying that maybe apparently the second part of the Premier League, the second leg, Sunderland might go down. But what I'd like to say is that Sunderland really invested in players. If you check their squad, Sunderland really invested in their players, and they invested in players that have experience. Look at the likes of Ronaldo, Granit Xhaka, Broby, and quite a few to mention. Dingra as well, quite a few to mention. And their game was very impressive. And then the guy who also I'd like to recall is also their coach. Their style of play, actually, if you come to check it, they have a very, very solid defensive line. Of course, they concede a lot of goals and everything, but if you check the way they play, the way they hold the ball across their defensive line, and then they play and then they send it forward, that's quite something to tell you about them. You see, because we have been having a cycle, or quite a number of times, where we see teams that come from EFL, when they are promoted to the EPL, all they come to do is they come for a draw, they come for a draw. They never want to win the games. But Sunderland are made different. All of their games, even when Big Six are going to their stadium, it's so hard for you to win. So hard for you to win. We've seen with the likes of Arsenal, Chelsea, Manchester United escaped by the skin of their teeth. If it weren't for the cards that they were given Sunderland, I believe maybe there could be a different result. Yes, I'm a Manchester United fan, but I'm speaking facts.
Exactly.
So, Sunderland were very impressive.
When I talk about Bournemouth here losing to Sunderland, as much they put up a fight, a good one at that, but at the end of the day, Sunderland carried the day. But where does Bournemouth stand in this? Because last season, Bournemouth was one of the most outstanding teams we had in the league. We're not seeing so much of that this season. What do you think is the result of this dip in form, or this shake that they're having?
I think Bournemouth, it's just that case of they sold their main players. When walifanya season yao ikuwe brilliant last season. Now this season they still have a good squad. Wakona some players, Semenyo, Kona Atli, Ivanilson, Adams, Kluivert, you know, but now I think also injuries also is in our effect. Recently Semenyo alikuwa injured, but aliweza kucheza game. Maybe fitness yake iko questionable, but you have other players that can also play in this team and win games, but they haven't been on a good run. And I think Pia Sunderland right now are so top, like they are on form. So it was predictable that Sunderland can, because walikuwa nyuma. I think Bournemouth ndo walikuwa in the game. They scored early goals, and you are like, Bournemouth can get this maybe like a defensive line because wako away na washinde, but now team spirit ya Sunderland, experience, you have players that are playing for they're like playing for the badge. Team spirit, commitment, and also experience now comes in. Granit Xhaka, Reinildo, and those players that can be leaders in the team. You know, kitu iliwasaidia na they were able to win the game 3-2, like a comeback win. So that's very huge for Sunderland. And for me, ata like players wakenda AFCON, I think they did enough signings to hold up in the Premier League. Yeah, so far. And I think nile enye like wanasema right now in the first half of the league, we need to get these results. Ndio maybe kiumana tukimaliza bado wako safe.
In a safer place. Yeah, because unajua like most of the time there's this trend of these teams coming up into English Premier League. They spend a season there and they go back down, you know. And I don't think that's the situation you're going to see with Sunderland, because before this they had taken too long in the EFL. And I hope, and that's one place I believe they don't want to go, and they've invested so well, like Rivaldo was said earlier, in their players, in very good quality players, and we are seeing the results from that. Despite the fact that we are the scare of the AFCON scare, sorry. And I know the coach has something for that, you know, because at the end of the day, when you assign a player, you know where they come from and maybe what might hinder them, or such times when they'll be going out for the national duty. So I feel like so I feel like Sunderland, as much as we cannot speak about title contention for them, I feel like they are positioning themselves into a better position when it comes to the end of the season, and that is very important at this early stage. Let us talk about Man City, who managed to steal. I'm talking about steal because whoa. I didn't believe Leeds would one day go toe-to-toe with Man City, so that Man City can swear to maybe to come up with the win against Leeds United. You know, Leeds has been this team this season, he's not doing well. Let's face it. Leeds is not doing well. And I was very scared. In this particular fixture whereby Man City won 3-2, is it that Man City were done, or Leeds just improved so much that it was a shocker for Man City also?
Okay, so I'd like to go with the fact that, first of all, you need to understand that Leeds and Manchester City is a derby.
Of course, they come from Manchester, yeah.
That's a derby match, toe-to-toe. The fact that Manchester United and Man City is a derby, but Leeds and Manchester City, it's also a derby.
Yeah.
So that game has to go hardcore. And I'd like to believe maybe that Leeds did not want to lose heavily, maybe, and maybe there's also the fact that if they beat us and everything, bragging rights and everything. So maybe they had that expectations of maybe they're not that much and everything. And then we also go to show that Haaland ghosted the entire game. I know most people will not take it, but I will really put it out there. I felt like Haaland was not himself, because I've never seen a game whereby everyone is scoring but Haaland is not there.
Exactly.
How?
3 goals without Haaland is not Man City.
And then I'd like to also say that Leeds, yes, they lost, but apparently they played a very awesome game. I loved their game, and the fact that there's also a defender. There's also a defender called Rodon. Yeah. Exactly. There's also a defender called Rodon. Yes, he got maybe carded, I don't know, but he was amazing. He was everywhere. He didn't score and everything, but you could feel his essence in the pitch and everything. And there's also their midfielder. There's a certain midfielder they have. That midfielder was amazing, but apparently City won the game. And let me just say, maybe it was luck, but I don't feel like the Manchester City that we all know is the same one that for this season. See the same one. It's not. Yeah. And
I've been having this question about some of these coaches that we are used to. Some of the coaches in 3 years ago, they were the topmost coaches in the world of football. Guardiola being one of them, yes, who started this new age this new age of coaches. Yeah. Do you think we are in a time whereby we are seeing an end to them, because we're seeing the struggles that is happening with the Liverpool coach Arne Slot? We are seeing Maresca is not doing so well, as much as they are in a good position right now, but this is not the Chelsea that Chelsea that you can fear right now. You can now here we're talking about Guardiola. We have the Mourinhos of this world. Are we seeing a new age of coaches in the name of glassness and all that are trying? The ideas are overriding the ideas that we know from these previous coaches.
Okay, so I'd like to go first and foremost and say yes, of course, yes. We should also add another list. There's also Fabregas.
Fabregas is doing so well. Exactly.
Look at Oliver Glasner with Crystal Palace. Yeah. Look at Indani Raiola also as well. all of these coaches have their specific way of playing, and they are not imitating anyone.
Exactly.
They are not imitating anyone. No one is playing tiki-taka anymore. It's either we play quick possession counter, we hold the ball, we stick it by the line and everything. So different coaches now are approaching the football game with different tactics. They're not approaching it with the same old tactics, like let's say the Mourinho way. Sorry to say, I'm a big Mourinho fan, but holding the ball, long ball, counter, quick. No one is playing like that anymore. Because if I get a team that is playing like this, I can easily read them throughout the first half and second half. I can just close the game easily. So yeah.
And there's this new group of managers, so this new player whereby we're depending on the throw-ins, these long throw-ins to try to cause a problem, and also the set pieces. Let's talk about Arteta and the round football. But before we talk about that, because I'm coming to you with that, I want us to take a short break because one of us has joined us, Rodney. I like him to join us in the panel because I feel like there's something you can add on this topic. So let us don't go very far. Just a very short break, and we'll be back.
Bandwagon along the way.
Exactly.
But, I'm glad to be here once again. Welcome to the scoreboard, and let's get it on.
Let's make it work. Actually, Manu, we were talking about something before we went on a break.
You were asking me about the long throws and
all that. What do you think is the essence of this tactical change with this new group of coaches that they had to do it?
Actually, hizo long throws and set piece and all those corner kicks. Mi naona ni kama it's old fashioned. Ni kama sasa ndio imerudi. Because right now umeona the new modern football and tactics. Unapata it's all about playing in the midfield. Sana with Guardiola, unaona na he's using now the inverted fullbacks. I don't know kama natumia sahi ama he reverted to the old overlapping, but so you can even with Arsenal tunatumia inverted fullbacks. Calafiori unampata is in the midfield. Sometimes unampata even is in the box trying to score. So and also ile time nani alikuwa Postecoglou at Spurs, the fullbacks were so narrow and they were making a lot of runs in the forward line. So unapata this new set of football, like the modern football and tactics, ilikuwa ishaanza kuingia. That's why tunaulizana kama tulikuwa tunaulizana Ronaldo bado ata make it in the akirudi into Man U. Okay, I'll make it is the GOAT. So but right now naangalia sai set pieces ndio ziko dependent sana and the long throws sai Arsenal, Brentford, Sunderland, Crystal Palace. You see hiyo ndio kitu because of now nika yo the physicality, like looking at the nature of the game and also just tactics. I think hii kitu imeanza kurudi like the old fashion. That's why tunaitwa Stock FC because kitu Stock FC walikuwa wameivia sana back in the day. So right now the new set of managers, even if they are trying to play cute between the midfield, maybe that's what wanna try kutumia the other alternative because kuna times game inaweza kata. Maybe set piece ndo the only way out or the long throwings the other way out.
And it's true because I feel like Ronnie, you can confirm this. Like I feel like to outshine or to outdo the likes of Guardiola, people had to think, these coaches had to think outside the box because this tiki-taka by Guardiola had come and taken over so much. It was so difficult to play against them that something had to happen. And that's why we see these new coaches come with these different ideas to come and try to change the whole aspect, the whole field of play and all that and the formation. And that's why we see even Arteta, who is a student of Guardiola, employing different tactics to make sure he wins some games, and it's working out for him. Do you think it was necessary?
I think for most teams, as you've said, they're trying to create advantages in every way that they possibly can. For the long throws, it's basically a way of, let me say, creating a corner, but not necessarily without having a corner. So it's mostly about creating goal-scoring opportunities in any way that you can possibly create. So I think for Arsenal, they are in a better position right now because they are slowly changing the way football is played in the Premier League. You can see even Guardiola is slowly adapting the methods that he had before. He's slowly changing into maybe what Arsenal are doing, not exactly, but he's slowly changing the methods that he was employing before. And for other teams, they're sort of trying to emulate whatever Arsenal have been doing at the moment, because I feel like it might be a controversial opinion, but Arsenal might be one of the best teams in world football right now, because they are up there with maybe Bayern Munich, maybe PSG, Real Madrid, and I think for most of the teams in the league are slowly trying to catch up to whatever Arsenal are doing this season. So I think about set pieces, it's a bit open, because even Manchester United are actually tied in terms of set piece goals with Arsenal. So I don't know if you're also set piece FC this season, but then again, it's all about creating goals in any way that you possibly can.
I hope we don't emulate what Arsenal is doing, because that is not football. Let us go to another game I feel like we should talk about. Tottenham against Fulham. Let's talk about a little bit about Tottenham, because I feel like this is a team, if there's a definition of unseriousness, we start in Tottenham. Because I fail to understand how Tottenham is doing so well. Tomorrow we see a different side of Tottenham, which is so bad and so, it's crazy. And I feel like the new coach is also, I feel like he's tired already. I was looking at his body language in the past game, and I felt like this was not the right place for him. Manu. It's your direct rival. What can you say about Tottenham?
I know someone who supports Tottenham. So
I also know someone.
So I think they have been in a bad position, like in the last 3 games. They haven't won in any of them, and I think this is the worst one. Arsenal versus Spurs, us beating them in Eleweka, because it's a derby. It's a derby, and yes, it's normal. But this one again, Fulham, it's also a derby, because it's London teams. But the way in which they are losing these games, it's very questionable. It's very something that you can really question as you go forward. Sana coming from a heavy loss against your direct rival, and then you come back at home, play against another London club. You really expect to win. You are at home. But now the nature in which they are losing games, this game specifically, I hope we will concede. The difference is all over. I don't know if I can say the difference or the keeper, Vicario. I think Vicario Jacob called out a lot, but his contribution passing exposed that game. Na iliweza kuonekana hiyo bao yenye Harry Wilson alifunga. Okay, hiyo bao ilikuwa kali sana because of the angle and the just how they are. But now the keeper, what was he doing? Mimi nilikuwa nauliza. I think the keeper angetoa ball nje. Like hiyo position alikuwa into Vicario, but alishoot ndani na alikuwa out of position, and ikapata mtu Harry Wilson who is very good at shooting and scoring, aliweza kufunga. So now ukiangalia that trend of Spurs right now, they picked very well, winning at Spurs, winning at Man City, but now
drawing with Manchester United, lakini na lose against another team like Fulham. So it's something that encourage a change, and I think for me, this coach Frank, you definitely can see he's trying to implement something new. He's trying to implement his own way of playing in Spurs. When you two mesema is already tired, it's because of maybe it's not coming out the way he wanted. Maybe he's losing some players. Kuna players maybe wako already out long term. Madison, Kulusevski, who have quality and they aren't playing. But you have Kudus in the team. You have Richarlison. You have Odegaard. You have these players in defense. You have this guy Romero and Van de Ven. That's a very good defense. I think Apoko wing backs, something that can be done. I think he can change something, but right now they are not in a good place because they haven't won in their last 3 games. Let's talk about the battle of the 3-4-3 that was witnessed this weekend, and that is Manchester United against Crystal Palace. Before this game, there were hypes of whose is better. post 3-4-3 formation is better. And for the longest time, I've always praised Glasner about how he has implemented that formation. And I feel like this game showed who is better. Maybe or maybe not. I'm just saying, was it luck, Rivaldo, or it's just that maybe Amorim saw something that Glasner didn't do in that, didn't see in that type of formation?
Okay, let me be honest. Manchester United won, but let me just say this: Oliver Glasner, head down every time. That coach is amazing. I tell you why. Let me give you my reasons. Okay, so we won with set pieces. Maybe we did a little bit of this and a little bit of shenanigans. Maybe Bruno pushed the ball, Mount hit it. We hit another free kick, Zakizi hit it. Okay, amazing, awesome and amazing. But the first half of the game really exposed and showed what Man United really is. If you can check the game very well, the person who was really outstanding was Luke Shaw.
Luke Shaw, of course.
Was Luke Shaw. Because I really don't understand why this coach, each and every game you'd give Diego Dalot a game, and that formation definitely is not even suiting him. I don't even understand him.
He's playing on the left side here.
He's playing on the left side. Maybe he's playing. I don't even understand this formation right now. And then our best player, Bruno, keeps on playing deep. Instead, he should be further ahead in the position, but he keeps playing deep. You know, there's a big difference that really tells you there is something that is lacking. There's something that is lacking. I don't know if it's the quality, because we have quality. We have the legs of Mboem. We have the legs of Bruno Fernandes. We have the legs of Matthew Cunha. Sesko is coming back, okay? There is Amad Diallo, okay? And then at the back, we have Maguire, we have Lisandro Martinez. We have quality, not that we don't have quality. But then there is, how comes when we are going to play some games, there is, how comes when you're going to play some games?
Sorry about that.
How come when you're going to play some games, there's no emphasis like we really want to win it. Like, okay, we're going to check the formation. Oh, they're good at their 3-4-3, but I really don't care. There's the Man United way of playing. We're used to quick counter progressive and we score. Quick counter progressive and we score. We're not used to playing from the back and everything. We're not emulating people's skills and everything. You get me? Because playing from the back, I believe, comes from Pep Guardiola. Amorim was a coach for Sporting Lisbon. Okay, he was playing at the back and everything. But then you have to check at the quality of players that you have right now. You have to look at the likes of Matty Delite. You have to look at the likes of Harry Maguire and the teams they came from and the style of play they were playing with. You see? Okay. Try to implement your play to be able to suit each and every player that you're playing with. Not that when you're playing with some players, now your players look as if they don't know football for the first time ever. I don't even understand why the likes of Kobe Mainoo, he's always benched like each and every game in and game out. Okay, there's a quote that Scholes said, one of our best midfielders is being benched game in, game out, and we can't even understand why. And then the coach will come out and call him out and say, if he wants to play, he'll have to compete for number with Bruno Fernandes. Bruno is a 10. Mainoo is an 8. Help me understand how these two will even wataanza kuingiliana aje. You get me? But then there is the likes of Crystal Palace. Oh my God, let me just say, maybe we outplayed them in set pieces and everything, and we just got lucky and everything. Okay, a win is a win. I take that to heart. But let me just say this. If things were a bit different, just a bit different, if something just changed in that game, we could have seen it rough. Let me not lie to you, we could have seen it rough. Tell me, okay, kama huyo ref hangepeana hiyo free kick. What if those free kicks were never given? What if ikulamua acha asiangalie, achane nayo? Because some refs do that. Michael Oliver has done that a number of times. Anthony Taylor has done that a number of times. So many refs, sometimes they don't like checking and everything. What if they could not be checked? Will we be 1-0 down still? All I'm saying is, we are not used to playing with set pieces. Okay, let me repeat something that a friend of mine has said, Rodney, right now. We are almost alike with Arsenal in set piece goals. Something that is really shocking. We have never been there. We are used to playing from open play goals. Okay, there's a season, okay, Bruno had so many penalties and everything. Okay, that's okay. But, hey, that's not how we play.
Exactly.
That's not how we play.
And something I realized that we all hate Arsenal ball. But Rodney, I have a question here. Huh? When looking at that game, I watched that game. there's a difference between the first half and the second half. In the first half, you were total shambles, and there was a lot of missed passes from Zagzi and all that. But in the second half, we came in sharp. What do you think? What do you think made the difference in the second half that we didn't have in this first half?
I think there was definitely a bit of a tweak. Obviously, Lenny Oro didn't have the best first half, and he hasn't been playing quite well for a while now. Not really sure what's going on, but Mazraoui came in and the game sort of settled a bit. And then there were definitely a bit of a tweak, not necessarily in the formation, but in the manner in which the players were playing. In that they were actually now, let me say, a bit hungrier for a win. They were actually trying to compete against Crystal Palace, and they went against them in terms of physicality. They were competing for every single ball. They were pressing them as aggressively as they possibly could, and maybe that's what got us the win at the end of the day. But again, I'll stand with Rivaldo. I'm not a fan of us maybe winning games through set pieces, because what happens if we do not manage to get a corner or even a free kick at the end of the day? What happens if we're not able to create open play goals? Something else I've also noticed, not just in this game, but even in the Everton game, when we have Sesko on the pitch, for some reason, we never cross balls into the box. But now when he's not there, we're trying to force crosses into the box.
Especially Daloy was
okay, I understand Zaxi is there, but why don't we do it when we have a 6'7" striker inside the box? Why don't we do it when he's actually there? True. And then we come out and we blame him because we allegedly say he's not good enough for the Premier League, but we're not creating enough opportunities for him. And we saw that with Højlund again last season, and we're doing something the same. We're doing the same thing this season. So I hope once he comes back, we're going to hopefully maintain the same energy, or we're going to try to actually play him into the game. Something else is that I think Crystal Palace are a better side than us, in as much as they lost the game yesterday. You look at the quality of players that they have against some of ours. Okay, yes, we have better players in terms of maybe value and whatnot, but if you look at the specialists they have in each position, if you were to bring maybe Munoz to Manchester United, he easily starts in that team. You bring Mitchell to Manchester United, he easily starts there. You bring maybe Mateta or even Wharton, they easily walk into that team. But you look at us and you look at the quality or even the value of the squad, and you wonder what is going on, or what is Amorim really trying to do with the squad. So there's a lot of, let's say, questions that Amorim has to answer, and he has not given us answers to those questions till now. So good win for Manchester United, but still a lot of work has to be done.
And my 2 cents on that, I feel like when it comes to players, I think the issue is the system with the players we have, and the cohesion. We still haven't found that cohesion, and just we've not bought into Amorim's idea about how he wants his team to play. And I think that's the difference between us and Crystal Palace, because literally, I feel like as much maybe as the formation is the same, but Manchester is only different because you use an extra man to create that, to create the chances. In this case, we are so much used to Dogu running to get those long balls in the opposite direction. Now, and let's talk lastly, in a first way, let's talk about briefly. Let us talk about Liverpool, Manu, finally winning at least against West Ham. What do you make of that, briefly?
For Liverpool, I think it was a good win for them. I didn't get to watch the game clearly, but as you can see from just looking at the stats and looking at the scorers, it was something that they really needed to win, because they have been in a bad run of form. How many losses right now can we count? And it's not yet half the season. So bad. So I think it was a good win. The thing that I'll talk about in this game, I think ni red card ya Paqueta. It was something that it's very questionable, and tumejua Paqueta amekuwa na hii stuff ya sijui alikuwa na charge ya match fixing and all that. So when you see that, it's already bringing a lot of questions, like what is he thinking when he's getting that red card, and also seeing his reaction too. It's really posing a lot of questions in our minds. So that's something that was evidently seen. Kenye naweza sema pia Salah kucheza hii game, but of course seeing Isak scoring and Gakpo in the end, it's a lift for them. But now we can't be sure about them until we see them winning the next game, because they were there, I think walishinda Champions League, and then coming and they were like, we are back. Then weekend in Africa una lose against Man U. So I think it was we needed win, but now we need to see more. We need to see the next game. And right now tumeingia December, whereby games ziko katikati ya weekend. Right now the next game I think ni Sunderland, or I'll confirm, but you see that's a heavy and a tight game for them. So the next game will say about
couple it up with Arsenal versus Chelsea briefly also.
That one it's not briefly. I have a lot.
I feel like there's something you talk about, especially the Champions League. That's why maybe I'm taking you a little bit faster.
I think Chelsea versus Arsenal, it's a derby. Even if you see with the amount of cards that was awarded in the first half alone, in the first half, I think Arsenal had more yellow cards. Ukiuchio game vizuri, like uangalie tu atmosphere. I think sisi tulikuwa triggered because of the away atmosphere and getting caught up very easily with counter attacks, and you have to make that foul ile ya kudeny player run. So I think tulikuwa really tulipatwa hapo. The emotion, away atmosphere of course ili get into us, but the red card and Moses Caicedo red card, that's a red card. I don't think there's a debate there. Yeah, honestly, that's a red card. Now, the issue that comes after the red card, Arsenal don't capitalize the red card. And I feel that's where we fell short. Even if you say that tulikuwa tunatry to depend on set piece, Chelsea clearly walitufunga na hiyo set piece routine. Yeah, and okay, it is fair enough. But now, if you look at the picture, Chelsea are 10 men. We have players that can change the game, or rather we have players when you are in the game to change the game. Madueke, Odegaard, you have Gyökeres, Omekwa. Like, ingekuwa a different result. I feel like Arsenal should have capitalized, but I think we just fell short on that. Another thing, I don't know about the Rice versus Caicedo debate. I think ilishia tu jana. Sindio, maybe kitu itaendelea, but for me, Rice is a better midfielder. Alikuwa na connect his tackles at least. Mwingine kuconnect na kapata red card, unaona. So, aside from that, I wish Teddy angekuwa hapa. I'm feeling the energy right now. Teddy angekuwa hapa, but in being honest, I felt like Arsenal should have done better with the game. Chelsea, sikuwa understand Chelsea with 10 men walikuwa wanaweza kudominate, like wanafika aje kwa Arsenal's half. That's something that I really didn't understand. Maybe the exceptions, maybe kwa Chelsea squad, unaweza sema Reece James really played well. Reece James venye alikuwa kwa hiyo midfield alicheza fiti sana. Delap venye alikuwa substituted, alikuwa anapea kina Hincapié na nani Moscora a hard time. By the way, ukiangalia partnership, it's a young partnership, and you can say maybe a bit inexperienced in the Premier League, because we lacked Gabriel and Saliba, who picked up a knock in the previous training. But I can say they did well. They did pretty well, though walikuwa wanapata some challenges with Delap, Estavo side, Neto. They did well, and of course ilisha 1-1. Of course najua sindo tungefanya better, but I am not that happy. Okay, mixed reaction. I'm not that happy, but I am delighted that it wasn't a loss, you know, because build up hii game manze, kila mtu alikuwa against Arsenal na uzuri hatukushindwa, so we
the idea was you to drop points and you did.
Okay, no, the idea was Arsenal to lose, you see, because Chelsea mechapa Barcelona, and you know Arsenal, they're not the favorites to enter Stamford. This is the game that Chelsea finally beat Arsenal. Hawako tuchapa, bad enough.
Just to add something, I feel like in this discussion, I feel like Caicedo is a way better midfielder than Rice.
What do you mean? Napata red card.
Overall, okay, in this game of
tutarudi hapa June na tutauliza swali tena.
Exactly. Ronnie, briefly because of time and you couple up with just finishing remarks. Let's talk about the Champions League. How do you feel about the Champions League? Arsenal won against Barcelona. Chelsea won against Am I confusing Bayern Munich? Which one?
Arsenal, Bayern Munich.
Chelsea won against Barcelona. Arsenal won against Bayern Munich. Briefly about it as we finish up.
The Arsenal one was, let me say, shocking in terms of the results, but I think they are two very good sides, and it was an entertaining fixture. I think it was a bit like watching two PSGs going against each other, because they are very, let me say, similar sides. And at the end of the day, Arsenal got the win. So obviously, kudos to them. For Bayern Munich, in as much as they lost the game, they were quite good. And I think it's only some few players who didn't have the best game on that day. I think Harry Kane was completely silenced by Arsenal's defense. But again, it happens. And for Chelsea, that was the one that I wasn't really expecting. I thought Barcelona were the better side on paper, but Chelsea managed to get the win. So obviously, kudos to Chelsea at the end of the day.
Yes, everybody's saying something on this. Rivaldo?
Thank you. But let me say this. I did not expect Company to lose against Arsenal. Unpopular opinion to say this, and it's a fact. Didn't play football. Let's be real. Arsenal didn't play football. Let's be real. That one single set piece that really opened them up really confused Nini, really confused Bayern Munich. Bayern Munich played football. It's just that now let's put it here. Defensively, across all leagues, Arsenal has the best defense. I give them that. But let me tell you this. Let's go again when they meet again. When Arsenal and Bayern Munich meet again, we'll speak that again here. We'll speak that again here. Bayern Munich are a good side. If you've seen them play, Bayern Munich are a good side. Did you see their win against PSG?
Yeah.
They had a red card, and my God, they won the game. But now the thing is, they missed their best player. Luis Diaz wasn't in the game. If I'm not wrong, Luis Diaz wasn't in the game.
Yeah.
And I also felt like Olise was a bit slow in the game and everything. I don't know why. For some reason, I don't know why. Don't know, maybe because he was manhandled or something or anything. But yeah. And then Barcelona, my team really felt it. We went at Stamford Bridge. We were beaten thoroughly.
You were shown bad things.
Yeah, we were shown bad things, especially the own goal. The own goal, I did not expect it. Jules Kounde just own goal and everything, but let me say this. Estevao and Cucurella's performance was amazing. Those two guys were amazing. Yep. I give them their flowers. Those two guys were amazing. Estevao and Cucurella, those guys. Cucurella shouting out Yamal as if he's nothing.
Or the kid is.
And then Estevao, that amazing goal that he scored. Like a top screamer from the corner and everything. So Chelsea kudos. Chelsea played real game. And popular opinion, let me go back, dog. Chelsea were the better side when they were playing against Arsenal. Yeah. He's even an ITK. Yeah, he's even an ITK.
Yeah, it's undisputed. No, you don't have to. we know you share the points. You don't have to put trouble on your face. But you're just saying Chelsea was a better.
The final starting inaangaliwa ni hiyo scoreline.
Okay.
Atuangalia ati walicheza aje, ati walikuwa 10 men. Yeah, so
Okay. Talk about
Champions League, I think I'll say this about Champions League. And Kenny Rivaldo amesema, I can't dispute here Arsenal and Bayern, and maybe we face them later. Inaweza kuwa different game. Because I can just go back last season. We faced PSG in the league phase. We beat them 2-0. And then tukaenda now, I think ilikuwa semi-finals. Na wakatushinda. So there's a point there about like football, but mi naweza sema it's about the league phase. Hii format ya league phase. Kuna venye it's just we are still trying to adapt to this, because kama ilikuwa ile ya group stages, ile yenye tulikuwa tunaanza na group stages and then round of 16, at least ukishindwa in the group stages ulikuwa unaenda, let's ukimaliza number 3 in your group ulikuwa unaenda Europa. But right now haiko like that thing, it's not there. So unapata right now tuko hiyo league phase, and hadi tunaulizana maybe is it really significant. Let's just use example Chelsea Barcelona and Arsenal Bayern. Itakuwa that significant that let's say tumechapa Bayern Munich and then we meet again in the maybe semis or quarters to watushinde, like why is it that significant? Maybe it's about kufika yo cut off your playoffs and tusikue relegated kuchujwa, but I feel like bado hiyo significance yake we are still yet to adapt to it, but so far inatupea some tasty matches. Unaona bado some players have it in their game. Of course to mention Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang ile bao alifunga versus Newcastle, so inatupea some maybe zile dream matches zenye atuwezi kama hiyo Newcastle Marseille, like those types of matches. Champions League of course itaendelea kutoa amaze, some records itaendelea kuwa broken. So far so good. So nikimalizia mimi nitasema okay, I'm not satisfied with the Arsenal-Chelsea draw, but we just move on. I've already looked ahead at the next game. We have to get the 3 points and still put pressure at the top spot. So yeah, mkiendelea kusema tuko against Arsenal, yeah, the opinion, everybody has a free will, has a free opinion, but we have to see until the results come. So yeah, I'll just say thank you so much kwa wenye umetune in Facebook, YouTube, kwa TV. You can see the trophies down there when you waliweza kufanya this successful. We want to a big shout out to you all the fans out there. Yeah, keep it EBN TV. Make sure unaendelea watch all the other shows, and mimi I'll just wish you a nice week ahead. We meet here same time same place next week.
Yeah. Just to tell Manu, nobody has. Okay, we all hate Arsenal, but no one has nobody cares about Arsenal that much, because because the number one cannot be empty. Somebody has to be number one for some time for the right person to come in. Nick Bradley says hi. Thank you so much for watching. And I'm trying to look at whether we have messages here. Anybody who has taken part in the conversation. My network is disturbing. I don't know. Sijui kwa nini? The Wi-Fi is not happening. Na my producer ananiambia show imeisha nafaa kutoka. So let me try and see whoever has said something here. Thank you so much, Nick Bradley, for saying hi. Hi too. Simon Peter says, watching proudly, a proud Chelsea fan. Yeah, you're supposed to be proud. Of course, it's Arsenal. You drew against Arsenal. Gladys Omindo says, Bomas of Kenya tuko pamoja. Asante. Vinjue says, congratulations, EBN TV. And everybody who has watched says, we mentioned what you are so many of. There is so many of you. Because of time, kuna Joel Masibo, Kisali Ribon, David Njue, Evangelist Philip, Mohamed Mustafa, Vivian Onyango, Nicodemus, Gladys, Martin, Jeffrey, Immaculate, Noah, Zipporah. Thank you so much for watching. God bless you so much. Have a nice week. We love you so much. Continue watching EBN TV. We have so many shows that are amazing coming into your living room. Be blessed. Let us meet here next week, same place, same time. And Chelsea, a draw is not a win, please.
Thank you.
Humble yourself. Goodbye.